Okay, so here it is. Here's the first piece we're going to be investigating. You can see that it has some really neat optical large thumbprints because it's bigger than my thumb. It's got what they refer to as like a zipper detail or prism detail running up. It's got some really gorgeous, gorgeous feet on it. And it has an opening. This looks like it would have had a lid. And I'm actually pretty sure it would have had a lid. So what is it? I mean, it's really pretty glass. It's definitely early American pattern glass. You can tell by the chunky weight of it. There are no seams anywhere on it. And it is without its lid. The first place I went is to my cut glass index to look up and see if this pattern was in there. And what I found was there were similar patterns, very, very similar patterns in here. If you look at this picture right here, you can see it's got the large thumbprint. It has the little zipper detail running up, but the top is slightly different. Now, this is a piece that's called Florentine. It was made by Higgins and Setter. So you can see that the pattern is very similar, but just not quite there. So after looking through this book, I did not find the exact pattern. See here, once again, we have a very similar pattern with the bullseyes. There were lots that are similar, but it was not in my book. So I want to show you how I actually use this site. So we're going to zoom in right here. This is their home page. And what I did to find this is I went down to Browse by Shape. And then over here, it gives you the shapes. Now, I had a jar. Sorry for the shaking, guys. I'm doing this with one hand. So I'm going to be looking for a jar. I'm almost there. There we are. Jars, crackers, and biscuits. That's what I want. And we're going to browse. And then it gives us all of these to search through. And my piece, I did look through all of this. Click on the next page and we scroll down a little bit. Oh, look, there it is right there. Right there. So, famous lookalike pattern. And there we have it at the top. So this gives you different images. So here's the one image. And then it gives you some others. So you can look through all of these, and I showed you some of these in the slides. I just wanted to give you guys an example of how easy this actually is. So this particular piece was a Fostoria piece, and it was called the Lookalike, and according to this website, Fostoria referred to this design as the bullseye, and used it in the making of many types of jars for mounters. Fostoria Glass Company also listed pieces, a few pieces in this design in there. Go back over here. Catalogs. Notice many of the designs in the catalog pages are after the Edgewood pattern. So here are some examples of the catalog pages and the pictures of the bullseye or a lookalike in the fine puff and salve jars. Notice that these have lids and did come in different sizes. The lids were also kind of different. This is the same catalog page, just a little bit further down. It shows the similar patterns and different lids. So here's a nice zoomed in look, and you can see this piece was a puff jar, cut glass effect, heavy, and it had a sterling silver top and was originally only $1.25. And here's a look at kind of in color what these pieces would have looked like. You can see that there's a size difference. They came in different sizes. Some of them would have been tobacco jars, some dresser jars, salve jars, you name it. So notice these don't have their lids. And here are two examples of them with their lids. The one on the left has a brass kind of lid. The one on the right, I really dig that lid. I'm leaning towards that was actually a tobacco jar on that lid. As you saw from the slides, this is a piece of Fostoria, early American pressed glass. That Early American Pressed Glass Index is so helpful. I'll link the site again in the description box below. That site lets you look up things by style, by shape, by maybe what it was used for, keywords. So it's a very helpful site. So this would have had a lid, and this particular pattern and lidded jars, they did in a variety of size and shapes. There were some that were about half the size, maybe some that were 3/4 the size. All the lids looked different, and they ranged from being used as tobacco jars, to humidors, to salve jars, dresser jars, powder jars, biscuit jars. This, I am pretty sure, I believe this is a biscuit jar. This would have been a biscuit jar, and it would have had like almost a brass-like lid to it, as you saw from some of the lids and the different lids I showed you in some of the slides. So I hope this helped you. If you come across a piece like this, personally, I think this piece is gorgeous without the lid. I love the Art Deco kind of style and feel to it. I think this would be a fabulous planter. I think it would make a really interesting planter. Or just a nice vase to show off some pretty flowers. But I love this design. I love this piece so much. And I don't know, I might be keeping it, I might put it up for sale. We'll have to see. Next, we're going to be looking at this piece here. What is it? Well, it's a small vase, and by the crimping at the top, I know this is a rose bowl. It has this really pretty green shade that fades down into a clearer piece. It is a satin finish on it. It is kind of a cased glass, and if you look at the bottom there is a pontil mark right here. So this is a hand-blown piece. So we know it's a rose bowl. Just exactly what is it? So who made this piece? This is a piece of Mount Washington Glass. Mount Washington Glass was a glass company that started in South Boston and then moved to New Bedford, Massachusetts. It is one of the older glass companies here in America, and they made a variety of rose bowls from the plainer side, which this would be on the plainer side. So they would have a strip of color along the top. Green, blue, pink. I've seen lots of pink and blue. I have not seen the green, so that leads me to believe that maybe, just maybe, this is on the rarer side of the colors for them. They did a peach blow in this. Mount Washington was kind of infamous for their peach blow. They also did highly decorative pieces in this same style and shape, with massive hand painting on them. Burmese looking glass, some glow. This piece does not glow, unfortunately, but it is just a really nice example of an older antique piece of glass. So here are two examples of some of the pattern styles that are slightly different in the Mount Washington glass, the more ornate decorative pieces. They're lovely. And here, just showing you the underside. It has a pontil mark. Lots of these glasses were pressed glass, but Mount Washington did hand-blown pieces. And I want to thank you all for watching. We'll be going over Mount Washington glass on Monday's edition of Glass with Class, so be sure to tune in Monday, 6 p.m. right here on my channel and learn a little bit more about Mount Washington glass and what makes it so special. And I thank you all for hanging out with me. Please make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And until next time, stay swanky and stay classy.